Hello everyone. Every day learn a little more knowledge and good stories about your dogs and pets. And today we will learn about, can a severely abused dog ever be normal again once it's adopted into a new home? My uncle adopted two dogs that were abused a few years ago. Nami and Tara. Tara is oldest. She was rescued first. I think she was maybe 1 or 2 months old. There was this dog center a few miles from where we live, with many different dogs of all sizes, trapped in small cages. She had a small bowl of food and water. She almost didn't interact with any humans, and when she did, she was whipped and slapped. Poor thing was scared to death. Coincidentally, at the time my uncle was looking for a dog because the one he had, whose name was Pluto, had died a few weeks earlier due to cancer. He was looking for a dog that looked like Pluto, and Tara looked just like him. I'm not even kidding. They looked exactly the same. Tara is thinner and shorter than he was, but their ears and their noses and the color were exactly the same. So, when my uncle heard of Tara, he didn't waste a second before he decided that this was the dog he wanted. Police had caught wind of that dog center and the dogs were rescued, and my uncle drove for hours just to meet her. She was so confused. She was scared. She didn't trust anyone. At first, she was just jumpy, but then she began growling. She could bite if you weren't careful. My uncle was the only one who could touch her. He's the only one she trusted. Eventually though, the more we saw of her and the better she got to know my family, she began trusting me and my mom and siblings, and she didn't growl at us anymore, though she was uncertain around new people and she hated loud sounds. She's 5 now and she still do not like people she don't know. Now, on to Nami. She was also from a center, but I'm not too sure if she was physically abused. I think they withheld her food and water, and human contact wasn't something she had at all. But she was younger than Tara when she was rescued, being only a few weeks, so we all had hope that she wouldn't remember as much and would be able to better heal. The same thing happened. My uncle got a call and he couldn't leave her, and so, again, he drove for hours just to meet her. She was a bit different than Tara. She wasn't quite so aggressive and she didn't growl, but she startled easily. She would run away if you took out a hand to touch her head. I think it's because she wasn't used to human touch and didn't know what to do. She was, and is, pretty skittish, and she could never stand still for too long. Again, my uncle was the only one she trusted, the only one allowed to touch her. She was clingy and she followed him everywhere. He always had to be in her sights. If he was not, she became nervous. And yeah, she began trusting us as well, but her jumpiness has always been there, and I suspect it always will. Perhaps that's just her nature, or perhaps she remembers more than we believe, but either way, her jumpiness will probably not go away. It haven't for 5 years now. Now, she and Tara got along swimmingly well, actually. I suppose they could relate. But seriously, they look almost the exact same. I had trouble telling them apart at first before I learned that while Tara's ears are more down on her head, Nami's ears go right up and her nose is a bit sharper, and, of course, she is shorter. Tara was a bit overprotective of her. She would take a stand in front of Nami and growl sometimes if you got too close, if she perceived you as a threat, or if Nami herself was scared or nervous. So, yeah, I don't really know what you mean by normal. It probably depends, it's probably different from each dog, but for Nami and Tara, I don't really think they'll ever be what you would consider normal. I think this one is Nami shortly after being rescued. Need some help training your dog? While you may not be able to attend in-person training classes during COVID-19, we are here to help you virtually through a perfect online dog training program that includes the basics of dog training and excellent training methods. The link is below the description.